Now, Podcast One brings you Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast, Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
Hi, everybody. Spike's Car Radio.
R-A-I-N-E-N?
Nice cold open here. Matt, last night I was at Matt Rainick. I'm Man in His Watch.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
I misunderstood your, I don't know, your stuttering.
There you go. You got to come right at me, right off the bat.
Of course, because you're going to come right at me.
What is stuttering at all? I said Matt Rainick. He was on the show. You should remember him.
I don't remember.
What's wrong with your feeble memory?
It's like my brain's like Swiss cheese right now.
Why?
Because I have 4 fucking jobs, and there's a lot going on, and then we got to go today. I didn't sleep well last night because I've been busy.
When you say go, why don't you tell everybody what we're doing? We're going to Vegas.
We're going to Vegas
tonight.
Yes.
Aren't you excited about it? Don't you love how we all get excited about going to Vegas, and then when we get there, we're like, God damn.
No. I'm the opposite of you. I dread the thought of doing anything, and then when I actually do it, I enjoy it. But the thought of doing
that too. But I'm just saying Vegas is a little different. Well, this will be fun because we're going to see Jerry perform. Jerry Seinfeld is at Caesars, and it's quite a setup. It's quite a night that we get to do. We're bringing Bill. Uncle Roast Beef, as we like to call him, for his birthday.
His 70th birthday.
We're flying out of these cloudy skies here in your Twin Air. What kind of plane is that?
It's a King Air.
The King Air. Will we be able to fly today?
We better. Okay. Otherwise, I think that we can always go to Van Nuys.
I've got that new Land Rover, Range Rover, that we could just drive to Vegas.
Oh, you know what? I'll meet you there.
Those things are on one. I've done that drive a lot in a Land Rover.
It's horrible.
No, I love it.
It's a boring drive. It's a horrible long drive.
Oh, I love it. Nothing makes me happier. Don't you? I mean, when you get to the desert, doesn't your head just clear out?
No, I think about how you could die. I think when you get to that Zizix Road, I think if you were...
Zizix.
Yeah, you get out there and you think, if they let you out here, what would happen?
What about Cleghorn Road?
I like that too. Foghorn, Cleghorn. And then, do they still have the Bun Boy restaurants?
They have that. A lot of beef jerky, a lot of things with figs in them that if you eat them, you'll be crapping all your...
along with Anderson's pea soup, you can have the pea soup with pea soup with figs.
That's
and you
really
can
bad
really
road food.
Shit your pants.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then the jerky's just shrapnel that flies out.
By comparison, we will land in your plane. Jerry sent a limousine to pick us up. And we will go to. He has a gigantic suite atop. I know you've been once or twice already.
Twice, I think.
Twice. He has the suite, the big. They used to call it the Elton John suite. Maybe they still call it that, which is essentially on top of Caesar's Palace, this New York apartment that has 2 separate little suites in it that you and I will sleep in.
Yes.
Uncle Roast Beef will be staying right next to us. He's not allowed in the giant apartment. But really, you don't even see Jerry. And it's got a big kitchen, a big dining. It's got that great TV room in it.
Right.
A beautiful view of the pool.
Right.
And a view of the nude pool downstairs. We'll all meet, like what? Jerry goes on at 7:30, so we'll meet around 6:30.
Right.
In the main lobby. That's the first time we'll see Jerry, and then we walk through in our suits right through the casino with security all the way to the Caesars Palace Performance Arts Center, whatever they call it.
What I like
it's really fun, but that walk.
But you go because you go in the tunnel where all of the talent for all of the 50 or so years that Caesar's been open, all of the talent goes through that tunnel, and they have pictures, the old pictures of these guys, black and white pictures of the people that went through the tunnel, and there's some really good kind of 60s mafia style pictures.
We make fun of the faces, but I bet you anything, Uncle Roast Beef, Bill, who runs the Malibu Kitchen, who used to be Frank Sinatra's stage manager, who used to be in this world, is going to go...
He says he's in a photo.
This is going to be great. Wow. Imagine we're going to get a picture of Uncle Roast Beef next to a photo of him. I doubt he's in one of those photos. We would have recognized.
But, we do, and we always like that one guy, the accountant that they make wear the toga for the Caesars parties.
The
1960s toga parties at Caesars, and the miserable Jewish accountant in his toga. We will post a picture of that.
And then Jerry performs. We'll stand off to the side of the stage there. It's an amazing thing to see. He's I really do feel like, and not just because he's my friend, he's the best stand-up comedian out there right now. There's no nobody better. I've seen everybody's acts. There are a lot of great acts, but there's one above all else, and it's this act. So it's such, for me, as a comedy fan, and I'm sure for you as a fan, it's one of the great things to just watch from his point of view, almost right from the side of the stage, so you can hear the waves of laughter and watch him surf them. He surfs laughs like no one else. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing thing to see. Then we go off to the Palm or Rayos, where we will really destroy ourselves with food. And then my favorite part, Zuckerman.
I know.
This is where it shifts to you.
You asphyxiate me with cigars.
We're going to smoke Cuban cigars in a really small room with no ventilation. And I get to hear you fall apart and then tell us what happens to your body the next morning.
I told you, and this is no lie. Those guys, you were not here this one time, but they did a
Vegas,
2-cigar night.
Yes.
2 cigars each in a small room.
That's new behavior, by the way. That's really new behavior.
And it was horrible. And the next morning, I was in the bathroom, and I was having a movement, and I could not understand.
Look at the kids in the booth.
I could not understand. It smelled like cigars. Smoke was coming out of my ass. I was so permeated with cigar smoke. I was pooping cigar smoke. It was so awful.
Wow.
It was
cigar-shaped poop that smelled
like cigars.
Wow.
Like rotten, secondhand, wet cigar smoke.
Oh, God.
It was just awful. And I said, my God, these guys have killed me. I'm dying
You're still
from them.
here. Look, you're
But I don't
fine.
feel the same. Ever since then, I don't feel the same.
And then what do? This is such a great weekend. Then we get up, we have a breakfast. Caesars brings us this breakfast in the morning, and
George,
the whole crew. Wait, we've got George, we've got the stage managers, we've got the opening comics, we've got a couple of agents. It's so great. We've got newspapers, we've got TVs on, we've got sports. The breakfast is no better than any other breakfast,
except for the fact that George Shapiro, legendary George Shapiro, takes the orders in a little spiral notebook.
Yes, he does,
with a pencil.
But you would think that it being Jerry Seinfeld, this food would arrive on time and hot. But no. Whatever crap room you have at Caesars,
you're getting the same You're getting the same shit.
But it's fine, because then we all pile into a truck and we go, there's a movie theater. Seinfeld has this place locked down. They have a movie theater shut down. We walk in. They say, what do you want to watch? I wonder if we can watch that Joker movie, by the way. I don't think it's out. And then we get to watch a movie. By ourselves, the 6 of us, the 7 of us, whoever's there, and they bring us popcorn and everything else. We go from that eating, because that's nonstop eating, to lunch, where we eat some more. And then we all collapse in the afternoon, then he does another show that night. And then we all fly
Where
back.
does he get the strength?
Huh?
Where does he get the strength?
I'll tell you where I get it, Paul. Meditation. I meditate. TMI, TDI, whatever it is.
STD.
STDs, SSAs. He meditates. He's got us meditate. It does. It works. He jams it. He does it. And then he crushes. It's so much fun. What a great weekend it is. And then, Zuckerman, as if this weekend could not get better, we're going to fly back. He's going to come to L.A., and we're going to drive that 934 that he's got up at Canapa. Sorry. What a car. For the first time. What do you want to bet? All right?
That it breaks down?
That it breaks down, yeah.
We could only hope.
Because he said it's perfect. He said
we
it's
could
just
only
perfect.
Hope. Yeah, his little birthday party needs to be spoiled. The cake, the clown doesn't show up. The cake isn't there.
I hope it doesn't, but...
really?
We should drive some turbos. No, because we've broken down a lot. I mean, it always ends up being fun, but that's a pretty disappointing.
What do you think? I've got his blue GT2. I've got the Turbo S. I've got the 89
the
Turbo.
blue GT2 is in the Adriatic blue. That is now yours. That's good. GT2
I think that's
RS. That's not bad. You had another idea. You had another Turbo.
Turbo S, the 993 Turbo S. But I think the GT2
that's more unstrung and wilder.
And you're going to drive a GT2 RS.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's the trio.
You know what? We got John Hennessy on today, by the way. John Hennessy is going to be calling in. He likes to take cars and make them insane. He's building a 1,000-horsepower Gladiator, so that's going to be my first question. He also loaned me that Velociraptor Ranger, the Velociraptor Ranger, which I really enjoyed driving around L.A. It awakened the pickup truck guy in me, Zuckerman, and it reminded me where I came from, the woods of Massachusetts. And I don't know. Now I'm confused. I don't know what to lease next. I drove that. My kids loved me. I loved it. And now what do? I'm stuck and I'm confused. So we're going to talk to him about those cars. I also just got out of the Ferrari Pista, Zuckerman.
I never got a chance to drive that. What a disappointment.
Pista, which means track. This 488. If you drove this, by the way, not that you're driving your 488, you would never drive your 488 again. The Pista is worth the price of admission. Whatever they're charging for, you got to get one.
Pista.
It is the 911R of Ferraris. It is so light and springy and fun, and then you can just drive it around town at the same time. But I think I posted this, and I may have told you about it, but you folks listening at home, here's something really interesting. It's engineered out of the GT2 RS. At 6,000 RPMs in a Ferrari Pista, when you're getting on it, it explodes. I described it as a lightning strike of acceleration between 6 and redline, which is around 8, right? It scares you for a second. And the GT2 RS, that's been engineered out. And I respect that, and it's refined because it's not as dangerous as those previous incarnations of the GT2 RS. However, the Pista was thrilling. You know, and again, you see that Ferrari is an emotional brand, and they engineered an emotion into the driving experience.
Right.
And the Porsche GT2 RS, which is a miracle. I love, it's one of my favorite cars. It's the engineering. They got it. They have the engineering under control, but that little thrill thing, which I'm not sure I want in that car.
Right.
You know, but I can't say enough good things about this Pista. I can't believe how great that car is. My only complaint is I just didn't want it in red. I would have done it in blue posi, or I would have done it in a silver or something else. But what a car. What a car.
Did you get a chance to go in the canyons?
I did, yeah.
And?
I ripped around the canyons. I had my 9-year-old with me, James, and I took him around, not at speed, but, you know, we got going. And I said, look, whatever you do, don't tell Mom about this. You know,
Excellent.
He goes,
conspiracy.
I'm a little afraid. And I go, that's what racing is, son. And the second we walk through the door, he goes, Mom, Dad went racing in the Ferrari and he had me with him.
Kids.
And then he looked at me and laughed. He loves ratting me out.
Kids. You know, we should see the Ford versus Ferrari movie.
I'm going to see it.
We should see it in Vegas. Is it out?
It's not out. It's not out till November. There's screenings all through October. I just signed up for my screening. It's going to be good.
Whoop-de-doo. Look at you.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same publicist. That's how I'm doing this. I'm doing the whole thing.
Oh, pulling the strings. Pulling your strings.
Yes, I've got the whole deal.
Yes.
What else did I want to say to you, Zuckerman? I think we covered it. We covered Vegas. We covered our test drives. I'm doing a lot of test drives. I've got electric Volvos coming next. And did I tell you this? The Aston Martin people did reach out to us.
Ooh.
After we chatted about them a few episodes ago, and they are sending us cars.
Oh, Smithers.
Yes, Swiggins.
Swiggins.
I've noticed the Swiggins comments picking up on Instagram.
Yes, well.
But what do you want to drive? You want to drive the Superleggera?
Yes, of course. That's the one to have.
I also like the that little 4-door deal they do. I want to try that, even though I
But that's like an old platform. That's a very old platform.
What's that noise?
I don't know.
What's happening?
I think that's your phone.
It wasn't mine.
Yeah.
That's odd. What was it?
I have no idea.
Oh, you really don't know?
Okay, my phone turned on. I admit it. It was me.
No, it turned on twice. I was just wondering what the noise was.
I don't know. It's something you sent me on Instagram, some police thing.
Are those? Oh. Is that what it was?
Yeah, but I'm not going to watch it now.
Let me tell you what it was, because I wanted your opinion on it. That's why I sent it to you. It was an African American guy getting pulled over as a passenger, and the two police officers walk up to the passenger side and go, they say something to the effect of, well, look, whatever happened in the traffic, we don't care about that. We just want to talk to you. Can we see your identification? And he turns on his dash cam and says to the officers very politely, look, I just want you to know I just turned on the camera here. And they said, that's fine, but since you're in this car, you have to show us your identification. And he goes, what law is that? And they can't quote the law. There's no code or no law. You see where this is going. He's not going to do it, and eventually the officers walk away. Do you have to, if you're a passenger in a car, show identification if you've done nothing wrong, and they're admitting right off the top we're not interested in any traffic infraction with this fella?
What I would suspect in this case is that they know who the driver is, and the driver's in the system. and when I mean the system, in probation, parole, something. Because if you're on probation or parole, I'm not exactly sure which one, the police have an automatic right to search you and your car and your person.
They do.
If you're on parole or probation.
All right, now I'm going to play it for you. Now we have to play it.
The traffic stop doesn't really matter. I'm not here for that, obviously. Just in case I started recording, because
the traffic stop was. I'm not here for that.
You can record all you want, no problem.
Massachusetts, it's got to be Massachusetts.
Yeah, before you
went. Motor vehicle to present your ID.
When you're driving.
When you're in the motor vehicle, yes.
That's bullshit.
Right. Can I see what law is that? I don't have the law book on me. I know the law.
I don't have the law book on me.
If you weren't in the car and you were parked in a parking lot, no. But as far as the motor vehicle being operated,
he's a passenger.
So get the law for me. Give me what law it is, and then you're a police officer.
Well, yes, that's bullshit. If you're a passenger in a car, under those circumstances, that's bullshit.
I love the Massachusetts. I didn't pick up on the Massachusetts accent the first time.
It's in the book.
It's in the book. Hey, you got a car. If you're parking in the car, hold on. Let me call Sully up. I'm surprised those cops, now that I see it's from Massachusetts, didn't beat the fuck out of that guy. But the camera probably prevented it. So you don't have to do that, right?
No.
Okay. That sounds like a good feed on Instagram. Police the Police official. Interesting to see the other side. I always support I think cops have the hardest job, and one of the hardest jobs in the world, because they never know what they're going to get when they're knocking on a window. And at the same point, I see the other side of it. The whole situation is fucked. Right?
Everything is fucked, but,
yeah,
I support the police too. But if you go into that line of work, you take what comes with it.
But you've seen, like, when someone knocks on glass, the cop says, hey, can you roll down the window? And then they just get shot. You're like, God damn it. So that's in every cop's head, and I don't know. It's a tough situation, Zuckerman. Why don't we'll figure out a solution during the act break. And when we come back to Spike's Car Radio, we've got the great John Hennessy, founder and president of Hennessy Performance. We'll be right back. Okay, everybody's got a to-do list, dropping off, dry cleaning, picking up some milk. Here's an idea. Let's save hundreds of dollars on car insurance. And the good thing is, you don't have to drop off or pick up anything. All you have to do is go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes, you could be saving 15% or more on your car insurance. Extra money in your pocket, my friends. You know what to do with that. It's just may be the most rewarding to-do you do today.
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
Here we are. You got the real Zuckerman, you got Spike first, and then we have John Hennessy on the line. John Hennessy.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Where are you talking to us from this morning, John Hennessy, founder and president?
From hot and humid Texas. Houston, Texas. Sorry about that. Yeah.
How are you this morning?
Doing great.
What'd you eat for breakfast this morning in Texas?
I ate a healthy breakfast taco. I think it had like quinoa chorizo in it, whatever that is.
That's a Mexican sausage. That's like our chorizo in Fall River, Massachusetts, the Portuguese sausage, the spicy one.
I like it.
Linguiça.
Linguiça.
Hey, so next time I'm out in SoCal, I always see on your Instagram feed you're like hanging out at the Malibu Kitchen with Matt Farah. How's the food over there? Is it pretty good?
It's the best. The best.
Okay.
Yes, there are one or two things.
I'll come out and you'll tell me what's good on the menu, and we'll hang out and we'll have a breakfast or a lunch or something.
They have the usual stuff. They have eggs. They have bacon. They have breakfast sandwiches and bagels. There are several items on the menu that have a substance we call accelerant in it that will clean you out immediately. Some sort of oil. I think
castor oil.
Castor oil might be in the Chinese chicken salad. That's my co-host, the real Zuckerman, who's on there.
How are you?
Anyway, yeah, absolutely. Come on. You can come back in the studio this time, too. I just wanted to chat with you because I just drove your Velociraptor Ranger and fell in love with it.
Awesome. That's great. Thanks for the love.
Tell me about, here's what I liked about it, and maybe this is why you engineered it this way, but it's the Velociraptor Ranger, so it's the smaller mid-size pickup truck that Ford makes, the Ranger, right?
Yep.
And I found it to be a perfectly sized city truck for a Hennessy vehicle. Not an overwhelming amount of horsepower. Also the right size, so I could pull into any parking garage I wanted to without worrying about hitting it. Some of the Raptor trucks, my partner has a big truck. He can never park in parking garages when we're going to meetings all week. And he has trouble valeting it. This truck, I found, really covered a lot of bases. Was that the idea behind it?
Yeah, I mean, so, the Ranger is a neat little truck by itself, and Ford, for whatever reason, has decided currently not to offer a Raptor version of the Ranger for the U.S. market. And as we began to upgrade our Ranger and turn it into a Velociraptor, I thought, this thing is so good, it might actually take away from some of Ford's Raptor sales. And to your point, parking garages, parking spaces, and just having a little bit smaller truck that still has great utility and off-road capability that you can park and maneuver sure is appealing, especially if you live in an urban environment.
Yeah, and I found myself on the 101 just blasting by everybody with knobby tires. Just like, what am I in?
No, it's quick. I mean, we raced our Velociraptor Ranger against a brand new stock 450-horse EcoBoost Raptor truck and beat it by about a truck length and a quarter mile. So it's properly quick. So it kind of covers all the bases. And then from a money standpoint, it's about the same money of a fully loaded Raptor. So, I mean, if somebody wants the bigger size, I mean, the Raptor is great, and we modify a lot of those too. But I think the Ranger covers a really nice niche because, like in the Chevy Colorado and the ZR2, which is a really cool off-road vehicle, they just don't have any performance. They're slow.
Yeah.
So
how does it? Yeah. How does it work?
It's got to be fun. It's got to be fast.
Somebody wants one. Do they buy it and send it to you? Do they just call you up, and do you source it right from the dealer? How does that work?
They can do it either way. So if an individual owns a Ranger, they can send it directly to us, or they can contact us, and we have a dealer in Nashville, Tennessee, Brownlee Ford. We've got 9 Rangers coming in from them here in the next few weeks. So they generally have between 3 and 6 in stock. So it's a pretty turnkey deal for however somebody wants to acquire one.
If I wanted to buy one tomorrow, do you have one?
I believe the guys at Brownlee and Nashville do.
No, I want one already done. I don't want to wait. I just want to get one. I want to get one from you tomorrow. Is that possible?
What are you going to do with a Velociraptor Ranger? What's that?
Yeah. You can have any color as long as it's black.
Okay.
And black is primarily
that is. And
Zuckerman, vehicles we build are black for whatever reason.
John, you probably don't know this, but I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old, and I was their hero for the week I had your truck. They just could not believe it was in the driveway. They're begging me to get something like that, and it really, as you probably know, I have a lot of, you've seen my feed, I have a lot of different cars in the driveway. This is the thing that really grabbed the kids. I took it to our Little League practice, and, I couldn't keep the kids on the field. They all were in the back of the truck. They love it. They love it. The badass look.
Well, guess what? We've got some more product coming your way, and I think that using the 10, 11, 12-year-old kid as a gauge of how well our product is doing. That's because, hey, look, guess what? Those guys, they're our customers in 15 years.
That's right. No, it really, I was telling Zuckerman earlier, it really woke up because I grew up kind of in the woods of Massachusetts, like around dairy farms, and we were all about trucks, and it reminded me of that the second I got in, and I really I put on the Leonard Skinner, and I just felt comfortable. I felt like that guy again.
Bird.
Yeah, a little free bird. These cities, these New York cities, these LAs, they've ruined me. I want to get back to that.
Yeah.
So when you say, now I know you're working on some great stuff. Like I now want to try the Velociraptor, the big one, which is how many horsepower? Okay. What do you do to those trucks?
Well, and with the V6, the modified V6 EcoBoost engine, that's 600 horsepower. Jeez. And then we also offer the Velociraptor V8. So we take the new Raptor truck, take out the 6-cylinder EcoBoost and replace it with a V8 and supercharge it. That's 758 horsepower. So you can count on, at some point, probably getting to sample one of each of those. And I think, again, you'll continue to be a hero at the school pickup line in the baseball field.
Tell me about this gladiator, this monster gladiator that you're building. Because I don't think a lot of people know about this. Can you announce that yet?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when Jeep introduced the Gladiator, the Jeep pickup truck, we thought, well, gosh, the only thing that thing really needs is more horsepower.
Yes.
So we're finishing our first, what we call our Jeep Maximus, if you think back to the Gladiator movie and the Russell Crowe badass character. So I thought I had to have a cool superhero name. So our 1,000 horsepower version of the Jeep Gladiator will be called Maximus.
Wow. Just coincidentally, that is the name the shelter gave my dog. Maximus.
I love it.
He was in, my dog was in 2 shelters. The first one he was called Maximus, and then they called him Gopher, and now he's Gopher Maximus first. And look, here it is, Zuckerman. Here's the Maximus Gladiator right there.
It's beautiful.
It's 1,000 horsepower.
All right. So when we send our Maximus out, you'll have to load up your pup and your kids in it and send me some pictures.
Wait, but now I have so many questions about this. What does 1,000 horsepower do to a Gladiator, which looks a lot smaller than the Ranger, right? It's a smaller platform.
It's about this, I guess, in terms of the length of the vehicle. They're very similar. They're obviously designed to get down trails, so it's not quite as big as a full size truck like a Raptor.
Mm-hmm.
I think again the design of that vehicle from Jeep was to conquer off-road while still being comfortable in the city and having the utility of a pickup truck. So if you want to put your mountain bike or your dirt bike or your camping gear in the back of that thing, you can. And it's like you can actually access the stuff that's in the bed of the truck of the Gladiator, whereas most pickup trucks like a Raptor, you need a step ladder to get in there.
Right.
So I think you've got that functionality. But again, for me, I'm not going to be caught driving around in a 6-cylinder Jeep. I've got to have some power. And it doesn't mean that I've got to try to blow off Teslas from a stoplight. But when I'm rolling down the PCH or down my favorite country road in Texas, and I want to punch it, I want some power and some cool sound to come along with it.
I love that, John. How did you take me back? Where did this all begin?
If I'm being honest, it probably began when my old man had me sitting on in his lap while he's driving his 64.5 Pontiac GTO with the 4-speed Muncie Rock Crusher transmission.
Oh yeah.
And I don't even remember it. I'm just told that I would sit there and I would shift the gears in that transmission while he drove fast when I was 3 years old. So I think it's kind of a father-son thing.
It's in the blood.
See, the Ferrari Pista in the canyons with James. See, this is how it happened. That's my son. I had him out there.
What's the first car you?
They get the bug.
Yeah. What's the first car you modified for sale?
Yeah. Or was it lawnmowers?
My first car that I began to modify, but I didn't sell it, was a 1969 Olds 442 convertible, and I was working on that when I was 15 in the front yard of our house. The first car that I modified and then began the business with in 1991 was the Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4, which I raced at Pikes Peak, Bonneville, and I did a couple of the Silver State races with it and did pretty well. And I learned the first rule of racing is if you want to make a small fortune in racing, car racing, you start with a larger fortune. And as my bank account dwindled from my delinquency and my just basically being a derelict with cars, I thought, well, gosh, I want to continue my addiction with cars. I got to figure out how to get it to monetize and pay for itself. So I thought, well, maybe I could do what Shelby did and Roof did with Porsches. I thought, well, maybe somebody will pay me to modify their car. That was 28 years ago.
What a run.
Yeah. This is amazing. All right. Well, John, can you stay with us for a minute? We're going to take a quick break.
Sure.
And then we'll be right back with more Spike's Car Radio and John Hennessy.
Football season is here, and it's time to dominate the competition with your fantasy picks. And RJ Bell's Dream Preview on Podcast One Sportsnet is your secret weapon to victory.
I said the fact they didn't run it up in week 1 tells me this guy is so confident he wants to hide his strength.
No matter the matchup, RJ's got you handled with top-notch analysis for the best NFL picks around.
Now, is that true or not? I don't know. Very optimistic.
Download RJ Bell's Dream Preview every week on Apple Podcasts and PodcastOne.com.
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
All right, we're back with horsepower evangelist John Hennessy. John, now you're in Houston. Houston has a vibrant illegal street racing scene. But
it's kind of like Fight Club. Rule number 1 is you don't talk about street racing in Houston.
Well, today we're going to talk about it. Do people take your creations out there? Are you out there at night racing your cars?
I mean, honestly, I gave up that scene a long time ago. If I've got a
6
second, I'll
months
tell you. I mean, as much as I admire Paul Walker and what he did for car guys and automotive, it also, in a way, Fast and Furious, I think, really ruined street racing to where so many people thought it was cool and people would go out and didn't know what they were doing and people got hurt. And then all of a sudden, hey, look, if you're caught street racing, they'll impound your car and throw you in jail for a while. So, I probably gave up street racing 15 years ago. I also own a drag strip, so I don't really need to go out to the street to go fast. But yeah, to your point, I mean, Houston is kind of unofficially known as the street racing capital of the world.
That's right. Second, Detroit has a vibrant scene there. Don't ask me how I know all this stuff. Tell me, you just dropped it that you had your own private drag strip.
I thought that was a slick drop.
What is that like? How do you first of all, how do you buy a drag strip? When do they come up for sale?
A guy had on the west side of Houston. A guy had it for sale and was in trouble on it like 15 years ago. And I made a deal with him and bought the track. And I thought this would be a great place for us to move our shop, where we could build our cars and have a place to test our cars. So we operated the track for the public for a period of time. But our shop has been out there for 10 years now, and we're so busy building cars and trucks. And we have our new Venom F5 coming out. We're not really doing much in the way of public events, but we test our cars on that track every business day of the week.
No kidding. What do you have to do to take care of a drag strip? Like Zuckerman and I know how to take care of hangers, but when you have a drag strip, what's the maintenance on a drag strip?
Look, it's a quarter-mile drag strip, so the track is a quarter mile, then we have another 1,600 feet of shutdown. So we have about 3,000 feet where we can accelerate and slow down. And we have about 1.1 miles in total that we can use to test our cars. So, I mean, it's asphalt. We just spent about $100,000, just doing some asphalt maintenance and mowed the grass and paid the property taxes and don't step on fire ants if you step off the pavement. And it's pretty straightforward to maintain and operate.
And you get a Christmas tree. You get the lights.
We got the Christmas tree. We can do burnouts. We do a lot of videos and for social media and YouTube and Instagram, and so we can just do that. And again, we can do it in a safe way. We're not like you see some of these guys out there that build cars. I mean, I was one of them before I owned the track, where they just get out on their favorite side street and get after it. And I just don't want the local chief of police or sheriff coming and knocking on my door saying, "Hey, we saw a video of you out here on the highway, and we want to talk to you about that." So I think having our own place to test our cars and validate our cars for our customers before they get them it's a very useful tool.
What you call a cool video, we call evidence, sir. Step out of the car.
Yeah, right. I have some friends that I've gone out with on Sunday mornings just to have a little bit of fun, and these guys are putting their GoPros on the roofs of their cars. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Are you trying to basically, are you trying to
convict yourself,
to prove the case for the prosecution if you get busted on the highway? Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why people do that, but again, I don't recommend that anybody street race. But if you do decide to do that, be considerate of the people out there that are just going to church on Sunday mornings. To go out and find some place out in the country where the worst thing that could happen is you run into an armadillo and bang up your front fascia.
Or for us, it's go over the edge like Kevin Hart. That's what happens.
That's an interesting discussion.
Yeah, it is. Give us your point of view.
California now, I've read somewhere that California is going to mandate that everybody that modifies the car in California has to have a roll cage and 5-point harness. I'm like, well, what about tying up the loose nut behind the wheel? No, nothing against Kevin, but I'm guessing that whoever was driving that vehicle might not have really had the skill set to handle something with that much power.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Like a 1,000-horsepower gladiator. Just saying. Just saying.
Okay, sure.
What's that? I mean, don't you have to take that into consideration? I mean, well, let's just go back to the car. Now, mandating that every car should have a roll cage is kind of a double-edged sword, right? I mean, aren't there now going to be cases where someone's head gets cracked open by a roll cage?
Well, yeah. I mean, the bottom line is you can't legislate common sense. So, if people are going to do something stupid, it doesn't matter whether you have a roll cage or not.
Right.
You basically people have to take responsibility. And it's like getting on a horse. If you get on a horse, sometimes horses do crazy things. So you're better off getting on that horse with somebody that knows what they're doing or can give you some skills as far as, hey, look, under this situation, you got to be careful. And so that's how I've generally avoided. I've gone off road a few times, but it just takes a little. You go to driving school. I recommend everybody that's listening to the show.
Absolutely.
Go to the Ford driving school. Go to Skip Barber. Go to Bondurant. I mean, there's lots of great driving schools, and you can't get enough. You can't invest enough in your own driving skills and performance.
Yeah, you need to understand what that car was. 700 or 800 horsepower. You need to understand what happens when you press down a gas pedal with that much horsepower. And I don't think he understood it. I don't know why he's up taking turns in that car.
In that kind of platform.
Zuckerman, any of the new GT cars that come out of Porsche, right? With the Club Sport package. We can't get those here, right?
No.
I've always heard, no, you can't. They're not going to deliver a car with a roll cage in it, right? Because it's dangerous, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
You have to qualify.
When you're driving something with a roll cage, they assume that you're secure in your seat.
Right.
And you have a helmet on, so you have some protection
with
from
a helmet
that structure, which does give the vehicle some additional rigidity and structure if you roll over, if you have a side hit or something of that nature. But if you're just like in there with a lap belt, you're kind of going to become a scrambled egg.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you think, obviously now we can look back, hindsight's 2020, that he should have definitely had a better seatbelt in that car, but you think he should have also had the roll cage?
No, I think the bottom line is that the guy's driving some sort of a modern resto mod,
right?
A car that was built in 1969 or 1970 that only came with a lap belt, and it's got a bunch of power.
Yeah,
you have
I
to
hear
respect it.
Right.
So go out. If you want to go out and just lay the wood to it and have a lot of fun, go out. You can rent the runway. You used to could rent the runway at the Mojave Airport and go out there and just have a blast. And if something goes wrong, you got plenty of room to, slide or go sideways and not go off the edge of a cliff and roll your vehicle.
Yep.
But if you get on the Snake, how many people on a weekend go out to the Snake on a motorcycle and end up in the ditch and end up in the back of an ambulance going to the
true
every weekend.
So it's just like, if you put on the right equipment and you go to, Willow and you lay the bike down, well, you kind of skid off and you might get scraped up a little bit, but you're not going to generally run into another vehicle when you're doing it. So it's just common sense stuff. Just because you have a souped up fast car, whether it's all original with 300 horsepower or modified with 700 or 800 horsepower, you've got to respect it.
Now,
driving these cars are not like driving a brand new Honda where they have every electric nanny to protect you in case something goes wrong.
And it's so true. We're so removed from cars without any of these devices to protect us. People don't realize what these old cars are really like.
All right, Tucker, my question for you. This is your area of expertise, personal injury, okay? Let's assume the truth is Kevin Hart wasn't driving. Who is getting sued here? Is Kevin Hart getting sued? Is Kevin Hart suing? Do you know anything about this case? Have you been approached? Are you representing any parties in this case, Tucker?
If I was, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I can tell you that I'm not. And it depends on, presumably if it's Kevin Hart's car, he is the insured. Then if someone else is driving, they're a permissive user. They're an insured under the policy. Kevin Hart can't make a claim against his own policy. Maybe another passenger can. If the guy driving happens to have a load of insurance on his own, maybe Kevin Hart can make a claim about that. In theory, I suppose, if you could even go after the guy who modified the car. I don't know if there was something defective about the way that car was put together. I have a feeling whoever modified that car is not Mr. Hennessy. And there's a lot of guys that think that they can just...
Speed Corps is the outfit.
Well, I don't know much about it, but what did they do to set that car up right and make it as safe as possible?
But wouldn't you suppose that Kevin spec'd the car out? And they offered him choices, and he said, "All right, and here it is." So why are they to blame? Do you hear what I'm saying?
But
by the way, here one other question to just dump on top of that: does Kevin Hart even care about suing anybody?
Well, of course, and I'm just speculating. You asked me to play lawyer, and I'm just saying, maybe
the question is: a guy who has a lot of money, would he even bother suing anybody?
He does not want this. He does. This is you're in Hollywood. He doesn't need this publicity.
Right.
He wants to get better and move on.
Right.
Not good for business.
Right. But there are two other people in the car.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
He might have to pay him.
Yeah.
Not the driver.
You're right. That's the lawsuit. That'll be the other folks.
Right. Depends how messed up they are. But, I think that it goes back. If I'm going to buy a modified car, I'm not going to my corner mechanic. I'm going to go to Mr. Hennessy or somebody at his level who knows what they're doing, who understands how to put together a high horsepower vehicle.
So what did you do? I'm on your site now, John. You're modifying Ford GTs, the new ones, because those aren't fast enough.
Interestingly enough, the new Ford GT is a vehicle that we decided not to modify.
Okay.
I own one, and I kind of feel like the collectability of it is already pretty highly tuned from Ford. I like the way it drives,
there it is, right there.
I don't want to have to send it back to Multimatic in Canada to get it fixed. So I think
it's just up on your site. I see here.
There's a lot of great vehicles to choose from to modify. So it depends on what the customer's budget is and kind of what type of a vehicle that they want. But gosh, I mean, we do live in the golden age of tuned modified cars because there's so many great platforms. It doesn't matter if it's, Porsche or American Muscle or even trucks and SUVs. You can have a lot of fun with the vehicles. And the modern stuff comes with all the modern safety equipment. So again, it kind of gives that extra level of protection to the novice driver with the vehicle. Whereas, you take an older vehicle, a vehicle that's pre-2000, you get like a 1996 Viper and you want to twin turbo it. That thing doesn't have ABS. It has airbags, but that's about it. So you just have to respect it and be careful with it. You don't go out and turn on a high boost at night when it's raining.
Here are the vehicles he modifies, Zuckerman. Audi, Cadillac, Chevrolet, Dodge, Ford, GMC, Jaguar, Jeep, Lamborghini, Lincoln, McLaren, Porsche. Of course, I clicked on Porsche, and up came the Hennessey Porsche Taycan Texas tuning powerhouse set to modify its first EV. What? What
the fuck?
What are you doing?
Okay, here it is. All
okay.
Right. So you guys remember the movie Full Metal Jacket? All
yes.
Right.
Of course.
And so Matthew Modine, towards the end of the movie, he's got Born to Kill on his helmet, and then also the peace sign. And his commander comes up and says, "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" And he starts talking about the duality of man. And when I thought let's modify the Taycan, I thought, can a company that's known for building engines upwards of 2,000 horsepower also modify an electrified vehicle? And I think that we can. And I think, when the Tesla came out, it's something that we looked at 6-7 years ago, but I wasn't ready to do it then. And I thought, I want to start with a fresh platform. And I think that Porsche has probably taken from where Tesla is and is going to add all of their, decades of experience in engineering and racing prowess. And I thought that's the platform from which we'd like to modify. Now, are we going to increase power or change the batteries or touch the engines? Initially, no. So I think cosmetics, wheels, tires, suspension, brakes, interior, maybe some exterior body work is kind of where we'll start. But, I think, my kids want to take over the business from me at some point, and electrification needs to be part of that plan going forward for the next 25 or 30 years.
So do you have a Taycan that you're pulling apart right now?
No. All I know about the Taycan is what I read on various websites from the media that have driven it. But certainly when the Taycan becomes available in the U.S. market, we'll go out and we'll purchase the highest spec and we'll start tinkering with it and we'll see what we can do.
Wow.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite car or a platform to modify? Something you really enjoy doing?
Man, it's kind of like which one of your kids is the favorite.
Right.
Kind of at the very top of just what excites me to drive, like the Venom GT and the soon to be Venom F5, just delivers a driving experience like nothing else I've ever experienced. But those are those are $1 million plus cars. Some of my favorites are the last generation Ford GT, so the 0506, especially with some modifications. I love the C6 VR1 as a favorite. I've got a Trackhawk, a Jeep Trackhawk with 1,000 plus horsepower, and maybe I'll send that out to you guys to drive next. That's like the total sleeper,
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So those are. So I like weird stuff. I like station wagons, like the Cadillac CTSV wagon with lots of power. Like 10 years ago, when my kids were about your kids' ages, I had a CTSV wagon with 750 horsepower, and I had exhaust dumps on it. So when I pulled up to the pickup line, my kids were in elementary school, I would pick them up, and then as we were pulling out, the kids would flip the switch to the dumps, and it would go from like quiet station wagon to like pissed off NASCAR race car. And like the moms and the teachers and the safety patrol of the school are like shitting themselves like, what's going on here? Should we call 911?
Oh my God.
So I have kind of a twisted sense of humor, and that's the kind of stuff I like.
That's one of the things the car guys get to do, Zuckerman, is that drop-off line fun, right? I have one kid who's into it, and the middle schooler's like, but Dad, you got to stop. You're embarrassing me. I don't want any attention on me.
I got lucky. Both of my kids liked it. They really did.
Yeah. It's really fun. It's really a reason to get a car now for me. It's just to have that little bit of fun. Because where else, you're not going to get it from the wife. She wants something quiet. She doesn't like fun. Boo. She doesn't. Before we go, you also have this is John Hennessy giving back. giving back to the horsepower community. He's got Tuner School.
Isn't that great?
I think it's the only school of its kind, right? Yeah, here it says, world's only automotive technical school dedicated to teaching car enthusiasts how to modify and tune cars, sports cars, and race cars. We could go to this, Zuckerman. We need this education. Tell us about this program and why you started it.
It's a cool program. It's basically, it's for the kid who I was when I was 16 and I'm out. For every one thing that I did on my old, 442 convertible that at work, I would mess up 4 or 5 other things. So basically, it fulfills the dreams for kids who want to learn how to modify cars and learn how to do it the right way. A lot of them, I would say 80% of the students that come to our 14-week program are there to get into the industry and to make a career out of modifying cars. But we have a lot of enthusiasts that come that want to learn more for their own benefit and for their own personal growth. And so it's very exciting. Tuner School is in its 10th year, and we've had about 300 students total come through the program. And it's something where we've had many students have told us, and their parents have told us, that it really changed the trajectory of their lives. And I've modified a lot of cars, but I don't think I've ever had a client say, this car changed my life. As much fun as it might be to drive, but Tuner School does have an impact on some young people. We've had older people too, older guys like ourselves come to the program, but it really gives maybe some car guys and car girls out there who are looking for direction, looking for a place, looking to kind of figure it out. It kind of gives them some confidence and some skills to where they can, continue down that journey with cars like we're all on.
Wow, that's very esteemable.
It's cool. I've heard from guys who have shops like yourself that it's tough to find mechanics with talent.
Yeah.
Is this maybe an effort to... Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the reason we started the school is basically it was our own development program, our own farm club, if you want the baseball analogy, where right now of the 35 employees I have in my business, at least 15 of them have come out of Tuner School. So for us, it's like a 14-week job interview. Besides their aptitudes and their skill sets and what their talents might be, we know about their character. We know whether they work well with other people, show up early, stay late. And we do have a number of other companies in the aftermarket come to us on a regular basis and ask us, hey, look, do you have somebody coming out of Tuner School that might be able to fulfill certain job positions? So if an enthusiast or somebody's in the industry out there is listening to this, they can just contact Tuner School, and we do have students. Most of our students, before they graduate, have jobs, but the aftermarket is so strong right now. You're right. There are a lot of companies out there that need more talent to be able to deliver their products and services.
There you go. Look at that,
Great
Zuckerman.
stuff.
Show up early, stay late. Good advice.
Right?
Listeners, good advice.
If you want the money.
If you want the money.
Cause.
In the cause.
Life's pretty simple. Just, show up, be nice, don't be a dick, and work hard. And
right? It's all in execution. Everybody's got ideas,
Are we
but
going to not be able to be dicks tonight, Zuckerman, in Vegas?
I don't know.
I'm feeling
you have
a little
trouble
dickish.
with that.
I don't really.
Yes,
I don't.
you do.
I don't. No, not like you. Not like you. You're doing it right now. You're being a dick.
Am I being dickish?
You're being dickish.
Wildly
but that's
dickish.
all right. I love you. It's fine. It's all fine. John, thank you for coming on the show. And when you are here, tell Vinny Russo, give us a little heads up, and we'll go driving.
Awesome.
I'll do it.
It'll be fun. And you can catch up with John at HennessyPerformance.com and, of course, all the social media places he's at. John, we'll talk to you later. I'm just gonna hang up the phone there. There you go. And Zuckerman, that's it for you and I.
Yeah, I got work to do.
If you've bought a Porsche Taycan, do yourself a favor. Just like medieval times when they were trying to understand the human body. John, they take corpses and just cut them open and look at what was moving in there. John will do that with your Taycan. I love that.
That's very good.
I love that.
I don't have one, but I'm going to do it.
Don't you love that though?
Yeah.
That's you and me. That's what we do.
Let's just fuck it.
Let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Whoops.
A lot of great things happen. Yeah, a lot of mistakes too. Anyway, anything to promote?
Nothing.
Before we go?
No.
I'm looking forward to going to Vegas with you. We're going to have a good time. We'll see you next week on Spike's Car Radio.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio. Download new episodes every Wednesday on the Podcast One app or subscribe now at Apple Podcasts or PodcastOne.com.